There we go. Buongiorno, everyone. Happy Sunday. It is the Sunday after Easter. I hope that the Easter Bunny came and visited you and gave you lots of little treats if you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate, I hope you still went and grabbed some of that chocolate from the bargain bin the day after. And I hope you've had a wonderful week. It has been, or 2 weeks. It has been 2 whole weeks since I have seen you last, and I have missed you all so much. But to make up for it, I have a fantastic show for you today. I have not just the beautiful, fantastic Lady Morgan back for some more morbid things, but I have with me a very special guest come to us all the way from the village of Crossford, up by Northumberland. So look at that. So let me bring her in for you. Everyone, bow your heads in reverence, curtsy, bow, and welcome Lady Elizabeth Percy, Duchess of Northumberland. My goodness, hello.
Hello, my darling Contessa. Thank you so much for inviting me to this delightful party.
Oh my goodness, it is delightful because you are here now. I am drinking a nice red blend. What is it that you are drinking today?
I like a good rosé. I do. Yes, some people just think that's a little indecisive, but sometimes you like both. And this is who is this by? Jersey. This is by Jersey. It's a Jersey blush. Forgot where I got this, but it's the bottle is just it's slightly sweet rosé wine blend. I'm drinking pink. That's what I'm drinking. I'm drinking pink today.
Drink pink, think pink. I love that very much. And you, my lady, you have, it is your prerogative to drink whatever you want. And if you want a little of both, who is going to complain? You're in charge. It's your world. We're just living in it.
Oh, darling.
I want to say hello to Donald, who is here. I am going to say hello to Pat. And Pat, oh my goodness, going on holiday to Northumberland soon. I wonder why that could be. It has nothing to do with what is scrolling on my screen right now.
It has everything to do with what's scrolling on your screen right now. The Brazzens are one of the most delightful fair couples. You know, there's certain people that just, you know, come every day, if not every day, then every year, of course. And, you know, you just get to know them on such a delightful personal level. And just when you see them, like, it's everything, it's like, now the fair has started. Now that the Brazzens are here, we can start now.
Every time that Senor Pat flashes me whatever's under his kilt that day, I feel at home. And it's always something new. He's very talented.
It's the lift of Pat's kilt. It's the leggings on Ivanchenko. It's the matching outfits for a few couples. You know, the Terrios, the
yes. Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of what could be found under a kilt sometimes, I don't speak from experience. I don't know this for sure, but we have done a bunch of whiskey tastings together, and they get a little weird. I would like to welcome, of course, back for more shenanigans, Lady Morgan. Hello.
Hello, friends.
Now, what is it that you are drinking today? I have to know.
All right. Well, I may have made a mistake, but all right, I'll give it a shot. So this is all right. It's the Apothic Merlot. I brought the bottle over to check it out. Which is actually, it doesn't seem too bad. However, I forgot in the midst of putting all of my makeup on very quickly, that I needed to eat something. So I said, oh, well, I have some leftover turkey from Easter. So I'll try to eat some of that. And turkey with red wine is a terrible choice.
Oh, no.
Do that to yourself again. So yeah, it's making everything sort of taste like shoes right now. So.
I have leftover lamb from Easter. So if we were to switch, we would probably both be very happy right now.
Neither of you would be drinking shoes.
No, it's not.
Have you ever drank rosé out of a shoe?
I'm not from Australia, so no, I don't know how to do that.
I never got into that. I know what you're referencing. I just really got into it.
Neither. I think salad fingers was the last weird thing. Oh. And after that, I was just out for a few years, and then I came back for cheeseburger.
I thought there's like whole lists of salad fingers things, and a very, very disturbing film, like 6-minute film of either how he got salad fingers or why he's living alone on like an island. It's really awful.
Oh no.
Oh, it's disturbing as hell. Like, be careful.
Was that Rusty Spoon or?
Yes.
I don't know salad fingers.
Yes,
now.
salad
I'm
fingers.
thinking
Rusty spoons.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh. Well, in the meantime, Eileen says hello. And Pat is drinking, this sounds really good, a Lancaster County frosted cranberry cider. Don't let Eileen
Yes. That's the Mount Hope stuff.
here. Yes.
the sound of that. I'm going to try that.
That one's a little iffy. I've had the frosted cranberry, and sometimes it's very good. I've had the frosted cranberry, and it sometimes tasted yeasty, and that was very disturbing.
Remember 2 minutes before we went live and we were talking about gag reflexes?
Yes.
Is there anything that is there any words that we can't say? All right, well, you can't say this and you can't say that. You did not say yeasty. Yeasty was left on the table.
Oh my, well, speaking of gag reflexes, Lady Duchess, we have yet to have a toast to start off our morning or afternoon. Do you have a lovely toast?
Yes, with a rusty spoon, I might. Let's see. This is my favorite. May those who love us, and may those who don't love us, may God turn their head. And if he cannot turn their heads, may he turn their heels, so we shall know them by their limping.
Oh. I was like, don't say that over a cauldron.
I usually don't pray over a cauldron.
Well, I mean,
I'm not that kind of Catholic.
That's how the Greeks got satyrs. Like, what happened to their heels? I don't know. They're backwards.
Speaking of satyrs, happy Passover to whomever.
Oh yes,
they celebrate and observe.
I was reading last night because we could not remember how many plagues there were in Egypt, and I had to look it up, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember some of these. Like, this very weird plagues. Like, the frogs thing I got, and the locusts is toward the end, but there's like something in the middle that's worse. It's like, it's either a pestilence of the cattle, or it's I think it has something to do with not frogs or locusts, but some other kind of insect, like another kind of insect.
Yeah, like an itchy, like.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. It's like lice, I think.
A happy belated Passover. I'm on the show now, so I'm wishing you a happy Passover now.
And by the way, Michael also says hello. Hello, Michael. There's boils. There's cattle plague.
Yes, I knew there was something with the skin.
Oh my goodness.
And because it sort of mimicked the Four Horsemen. But my thing is, whenever you watch any reenactment of the plagues, they're always showing like the reign of frogs. And you can stop me if this is too much for whatever rating this show is.
I'm still going to talk about dead people, so go.
No. That's not. I haven't gotten to the bad part yet. Here's my thinking. So it's raining frogs. Like frogs, like from the stratosphere falling to Earth, and it always shows the frogs like landing and like hopping about and being frogs, like oh no, this is such a nuisance because now we have frogs everywhere. I think you would have like little exploded frog bodies everywhere, wouldn't you? I mean, if it's raining I understand it's from heaven,
like
so
falling
you can
off
make them. The good Lord can give them a soft landing if he wants, but
yeah,
these are things I think about.
What I had read was the point of the frogs, because I was like, what is the point of the frogs? Like the locusts, I get, they're eating all of their crops and like a plague on your animals so that you don't have any food. Like, I get all of that, but like, why frogs? And then I read through, I guess, one of the original passages, and it says that they wanted to have frogs in your beds, frogs where you sleep, frogs where you rest. It's just like super inconvenient and slimy. So it's just making all of your life super inconvenient and slimy.
I mean, imagine you could have a plague of like rubber ducks and it would still be terrible. Like everywhere you go to open your oven to bake a cake, there's rubber ducks in there. You got to get them out. You go to bed at night, you pull back your sheets, rubber ducks. You have ducks
everywhere.
Like they're just everywhere. And I think it makes sense.
I think geese would have been the way to go with that.
Geese?
Yeah. Oh, a plague of
You,
geese.
you don't have to have many to have a plague of geese. Like two is a plague of geese, like already, like 5, and it's like, okay, whatever decisions we've made lately, let's repeal those. Let's make some new decisions. Let's see, are we being jerks to the good people of Egypt, and let's stop doing that. Like whatever it is, like you send me 5 geese, and I will just start apologizing.
I didn't understand
That's before anything, just geese in general.
why they had to keep sending. Why 10 plagues? Why not like the second one was like, oh, that's enough. You know, like, oh, I'm so sorry. There are frogs everywhere. I feel real bad about what I just said. My bad. I'll release the Jewish people. Go somewhere else, please.
Ramses is made a part of stuff.
I mean, yes. I mean, you have it is a beautiful morning in hell, and I am a horrible goose. Like it is, yes.
Yes. Yeah, a plague of geese would be awful. I wonder if the Jews were being kept in like Australia, like it'd be worse. Like the plagues would be like a plague of alligators, crocodiles.
But it would be Australia. They'd be used to it.
Sure, a plague of crocodiles.
You could send them anything, and they'd be like, "Oi, mate."
Let me drink out of my shoe.
I think that's the reason. That may be the reason God could not send a plague of geese, because they're all in hell.
This is the Wine Mixer episode 20, racist against Australians.
Have you ever actually been? I had the privilege, the gracious privilege of being in Australia just before the pandemic hit, and it was wonderful. It's a wonderful, wonderful place, and I really, really love it. And every time I would talk to somebody about like, well, what about the saltwater crocodiles? And they're like, yes, but you have bears. And I was like, there's a fair point.
It is.
We have bears, and we have what are they called? Ungulates, like giant elk. Or moose. But it's like all of those. Those do not exist in Australia. Like there are no natural cattle or things. There's red kangaroos that stand 7 feet tall and can kick you in the face. Or there's like cassowary that will just mess up your day. But
those are dinosaurs. I'm sorry. Those are dinosaurs.
Seeing them in person was one of the scariest things I've ever experienced, because they have them in Australia Zoo. In Australia Zoo, if you ever get the chance, it's the Steve Irwin Australia Zoo. It's one of the most amazing zoos I've ever been to in my life, because everything is kind of just out in the open. Like you walk into an enclosure and you can just walk up to a kangaroo. They're just laying around on the ground and you can pet them. Or they have koalas that you can just walk up and pet them. Or they have like a giant elephant enclosure. They have all of their crocodiles just sort of kicking around. It was insane. All of the amazing things that you really experienced like in person. So they have a cassowary. They had like 3. They had a cassowary that was maybe 2 feet away from me. And this thing is taller than my husband. And I've never.
No, that's very impressive. Actually,
yeah. 6 foot tall. So it's over 6 feet tall. It has feet the size of dinner plates, and they have huge claws on them. And you've never been more convinced in your life that something was a dinosaur than something that has like this big blue face and this weird crest on its head, and it looks like it will murder you. It is just waiting for the right opportunity. It is the scariest looking thing. Like I've seen emu. There's emu farms in Pennsylvania. Who cares? But like they're scary. And they're worse than ostriches, I think, because ostriches will just leave. Like this was like just daring me to be like, come on, get in here.
Come get me. Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of, I don't even know what's a segue.
How? Speaking of which part of that?
Speaking of islands, I can go to this one. Australia is technically an island. All right. Question number 1 for today is, which Shakespeare character would you choose to be trapped on a deserted island with, and why? You can have more than one answer. It was not clear to me.
I mean, I feel like there's a whole play about being trapped on a deserted island, isn't there?
Aye, it's the Tempest.
Yes, I was like, isn't that already a thing? So,
it is. You can answer. I mean, I would not want to be trapped on an island with what's the little oh my goodness. Wait.
I feel like this question is like, if you want to be trapped on a desert island with one very popular 4-letter show from the early 2000s.
I feel like it would probably be Mercutio because he knows how to party.
Right. Thank you.
Caliban. There we go.
Thank you. That's the word. Thank you.
Good one.
I would agree that Mercutio would, at least, if nothing else, he won't help you get off the islands, but he would help you have fun on the island.
Help you get off, that's for sure.
Hey, you know, I don't know. Well, no, I feel like he would be into it.
He's more of a like he's less a gentleman than all the rest of the gentlemen of Verona. Like everybody else is sort of trapped in all these social mores and whatnot. He kind of operates around the outside of it.
Well, he doesn't have a name to defend.
Right. Just friends with the famous people. So
he's the ducky.
Yes.
I would say, all right, so I'm going to say Ophelia because I've always enjoyed how delightfully I enjoy how delightfully dramatic she is. So she would definitely foster some interesting conversation. And also, I know she floats. So when I wanted to escape the island, I wouldn't have to build a boat.
Right. And use her as a boat. Are you serious?
Hi.
I haven't gotten morbid, and she's winning. Never mind. That's my ghost story. Let's go out of a dead body. It's great.
Can I pick? Then I had an answer, but now if we're going this direction, can I pick the random lion living in a random forest and just have it be on the island, and then I can tame it, and then it can like be my best friends. Like I'll just be sleeping beneath a tree, and then a lion will show up. And then
no, that was a tiger. There was a whole movie about a tiger in a boat.
I didn't see it, but I
will Shakespearean Life of Pi myself.
Yes, there it is.
With the random, was it 12th Night? It was 12th Night, right? With the lion.
Lion? I don't know.
Wasn't it?
The only lion I can think of is Midsummer.
Yeah, Midsummer talk about someone pretending to be a lion.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely.
They were very clear that it was not a real lion.
Right.
So ladies, don't be afraid.
Right. And I'm also not a real wall. I'm a person who stands here. I'm gonna lose my Shakespeare fan card because I really think it was 12th Night.
I know some of the famous ones, but I just don't know all of them. And I've really tried to read some of them, and some of them are kind of awful. Like it just
12th Night has a bear.
Is that
the bear makes sense?
All right.
Wait, was it?
The bear makes sense. Yes, the bear's fine.
And was it? No, I thought it was. Was it Much Ado? No. No, it was. All right. I know someone's going to have this answer.
Someone find this out in the comments. Find it.
Shakespeare. Like, where is there a lion in Shakespeare? I know it is. That's who I want. That's my friend.
You want the lion.
Oh, I want the lion. Why not? Oh my god.
You want the lion?
I want the
lion. I want to use that for the rest of my life. Anytime we were working together.
So I've made a little lip print on my glass. So every time I try to sip now, I try to line it up. Which normally when you have the whole wide one, it's not difficult. But this, it's like trying to dock an aircraft.
Lion in Windsor. Thank you. Know what I'm talking about. Know what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm getting a bit of feedback here. Next question. I love this one. If you could be a mundane superhero, what would your superhero powers be?
So I stacked the deck with this one. So this was mine. I decided I would like to be someone called Red Tape. And my goal would be to make things easier for people. So like you should be able to buy a house if you have the money to buy a house. Or I had a friend talking to me last night that he had the cash in hand to purchase a car, but his father made him take out a loan because it looked better on his credit report. And I think that is so bizarre that you should just be able to go out and buy something without having to worry about what your credit looks like. Or likewise, like if you're a person who makes slightly more money and now you can't afford the Obamacare free health insurance, like I would love to be the person that was like, you know what? Surprise, you didn't make as much money as you thought you did, but only in certain circumstances. So, haha, now you can have your free health insurance and you don't have to pay for expensive medications.
So you want to be not only the red taper, but the loopholer.
Yeah. Ooh. Yes. I like
and
that.
As far as your friend, because there are so few things to build credit well and quickly, and buying a car is like one of those major things. So I know it doesn't make sense, but your friend's dad was right.
No, and he did say at the time that yes, he was glad that he had done that because then he paid it off very quickly and was able to establish some credit. But it was frustrating. And why is that even necessary? To just be like, I have the cash. I've saved up so much cash. Look at this. Don't ask me questions. Don't tell me that I'd hidden it under my mattress for years or that I stole it from strippers. You don't need to know. I have cash now, and ta-da, there we go.
I didn't realize how recent the whole credit score thing was. That blew my mind, and that very much angered me. And it was like, oh, that's why it used to be the dress up and sit down and wear your suit and ask for the loan from the little fella, and like, you know, that personal connection. And why don't we do that anymore? Oh, that's why we don't do that anymore, because human connection is a number.
Yes, it's just so annoying.
Well, I absolutely did not use my fairy box. I absolutely did not find this out. It is in As You Like It, and it is in the Forest of Arden. And it was one of the dukes that was scared by a lion. I knew it was. It was not 12th Night. It was what isn't?
So everything about that, I started thinking it was going to be like a Star Wars punchline, but it turned into like a game of Clue. She was like in the forest of this with this by Professor Plum. And I liked it.
Yes, I like this one as well. Also to bring this back, that all your holes are getting looped.
So red tape would be your villain.
Yes, red tape would be the nemesis then.
Yes.
That's a good nemesis name.
Red tape is a good nemesis name. Like, red is not a good guy color. Well, except if you're Superman. Or
The Flash.
Or Deadpool. Or a bunch of them.
Or
very briefly, Henry Cavill in a different colored Superman suit in the Snyder Cut was amazing, and he looked so good in it, and I was very excited.
I mean,
I just love Henry Cavill in general.
I was just going to say.
It's true.
What about you? Do either of you have a superhero that you would want to be?
I think.
Even like I was thinking of things like finding a parking place all the time, no matter where you are.
Right. I would say that I would be the Spicer or the Spice Girl.
Spice up your life.
I would be Baby Spice, and I would be able to.
You would just mace babies. Like every time she saw a baby, she would look at it and they would be maced.
Yeah.
Either
just
that
go around pepper spraying infants. I don't think that's a hero, darling.
She's the villain now.
Well, you know, I could be a villain too. No, wait a minute. I could be the villain too. I could be like morally ambiguous, because I could say, your soup is bland. Boom, red pepper flakes right there. Or if you are like, oh, this taco is too spicy and I don't like you, now it's even more spicy.
Oh, so you just have like the ability to, I don't know, add red pepper flakes at a moment's notice?
Yes, at any amount. And you don't see me do it. It just happens.
You're like,
I want to see it though. I want to have like the comic that like has like the dotted lines. So you can really, so you're just like,
would I do this like Scarlet Witch, or would I do this like web sling it? Like web sling.
I feel like you would like almost jazz hands. You would like,
yeah, I would do the Scarlet Witch, or like the Doctor Strange. Make it a swirly of spice.
Oh no! Wait, do I have the thing that says it? I don't have. Oh, I do. Look, everyone, stay spicy. Anyway.
Yay. What about you, Duchess? Do you have a?
I have a knack for folding sewing patterns back into their original folds.
That's incredible.
I enjoy that. I have a knack for this only works with like I can't eyeball a measurement when cooking, but if I have the measuring cup and I just kind of like sploosh, I'm good at hitting the mark that I want to hit.
Ooh.
It's just it's a weird knack. And of course, you can't think about it because if you're like, ha, let me show you what I can do, it's not gonna work.
Be bam.
Baby. As far as what I would like or what superhero I would be,
No, I feel like that's a good superhero power, though.
What I want, I want a cartoon mallet. That's all I want. I want the cartoon mallet that I just reach in my pocket and I pull out a giant mallet and I can just crush a car, or I can like golf a person into another state, or that's all I want. I just want a cartoon mallet and then I just put it back in my pocket and go on my way. And if they find me later and they're like, can you empty your pockets, ma'am? We'd like that murder weapon. It's not there because it's only there when it's funny.
It's only there when it's funny. I like that.
Only there when it's funny.
That's like a
Roger Rabbit rules. This I just want a cartoon mallet. I don't care what my name would be. Hopefully my name would not be Red Tape. But I want a cartoon mallet.
Your holes are getting looped.
Hard. Oh.
I will loop all of your holes. Wait, what?
I'm just trying to give people health insurance. You get the mallet.
Health insurance is Pong. Why do they even call you the loophole? I don't know.
There's no water.
Gallagher, yes. Gallagher with better hair.
I was late when they were giving away weapons.
Oh no! I'm trying to think of what your name would be. It would be like the Mallet Avenger, or the Tempest of Toon, or I don't know. It would be something.
Tempest of Doom.
Or tunes like
like cartoons.
I like it.
Or oh no, your definite your catchphrase would be "That's all, folks."
Yes.
Oh,
Hammer time. Yes. The perfect.
We now have an intro song and an outro
or
song.
Miss Whack-A-Mole.
Ms. Whack-A-Mole, that is.
You have to be with a Z too. Like you have to go the full route. Ms. Whack-A-Mole with a Z.
Yeah, it wouldn't just be like, oh, clang, I hit you. It's like the what? And like the legs go up and you go like a foot off the ground. And
Are you actually the prequel to Roger Rabbit's? Because the whole thing is my brother was killed by a toon, and it was just you.
No, that was Dr. Doom. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen Roger Rabbit,
I'm sorry.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Oh,
I
it's so
love that
good.
movie.
Wonderful.
That one you have to do every few years. And the last time I went to a sewing place, there was this man there walking around, and he had the hat, he had the duster, and I kept trying to like grab my husband, like whisper to him, but you're wearing a mask, so like can't really. But yeah, we get in the car, and I was like, "Did you see Dr. Doom?" And he was like, "Oh my goodness, Judge Doom, not Doctor."
Yes.
I don't know. He might have had a doctorate. I don't know. It wasn't featured.
What was the one? There was another animated, but real life that had Brad Pitt in it and a beautiful blonde that I think it was something like that.
Cool World.
Cool World. Yes, thank you. Oh,
Catalina might be a little young for this one because I remember seeing like a preview and thinking that was like probably like the coolest movie ever, and I'm going to watch that. I love how we're not even trying with anachronisms anymore.
No, it's all the way.
I mean, we're all still British royalty, but to a point, it's difficult to talk about not movies while we're broadcasting live.
This vision appeared to me, and everyone else has seen it. Cool.
We looked through our magic fairy boxes. We can see it. It's fine.
Well,
But I was like, when I get older, I'm going to watch that movie because, no one can tell me what to do. I'm going to watch whatever I want. And I saw it a few years ago and I was like, this is stupid.
doesn't he hook up with the animated girl? Don't they have a sex?
Because he becomes a toon.
Right.
He goes into Toon World, and the animators apparently did not like backgrounds, so it was just like it was not very expensively done. And she was Christy Brinkley.
I don't remember. She looked.
She was the first. She was Vicky Vale in Batman.
All right. Not Christy Brinkley then. Oh God.
I can't think of her name.
Someone help us in the comments. I know who you're talking about.
Character name.
The character is
The character was Harley, but yeah, she was. I mean, gorgeous woman, and like
Susan.
absolutely like in her prime. In little cutesy dress, and I just want to be real. And he's like, "Oh, be real." And yeah, it was. Because then there's like the other like cutesy cartoons that are just like she's a hoe, and it's just.
Oh, she was in LA Confidential as well.
Kim Basinger, Kim Basinger.
Yeah.
God, she's so pretty.
She's so
I
good.
think she's still around.
Right.
She's still around, right?
She stepped out of acting for a long time. I think.
Yeah, that's fine. But sure, wherever she is, she's still gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh no, God, she's gorgeous. Yeah. I
Right.
saw an interview. Oh.
Ladies, I'm so sorry. I'm looking at the time. Remember when I said I put a clock right here?
Yes.
So it is time for me to do a very quick commercial break. We will come back. We will do a morbid moment with Morgan, and then we will get back to our final questions. So just hang tight. I'm going to pull you out, and remember, everyone, pull out. And we're already there. I had to. And
I know these references already.
whatever. And I am going to say very quick 2-minute commercial break. We'll be right back for more. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today once again. We appreciate that you are here with us today. If you have noticed, at the bottom of the screen is scrolling information about tickets to the New Jersey Renaissance Fair. That is going to be May 29th, 30th, June 5th, and June 6th. And of course, if you have trouble deciding which weekend to go, Chase Treasure will be there this second weekend. And also, very important thing to note is that we have a concert, a live in-person concert. Imagine that. And that is going to be on June 5th. That is our after hours concerts. And tickets are limited. They're going fast. As of this today, signing onto this, they are not all sold at this point, but that might not be the case for long. So if you would like to come see the ladies of Chase Treasure, and not just the 3 performing during the day, other ladies as well, this is the opportunity to do so. We have not seen you live in over a year, so this is going to be very exciting. A couple other things. Let me make sure this is coming up here. I have merchandise. If you did not know that already, you could, technically, you could go to this very long URL, lean over, this very long URL at the bottom of your screen, or you could just go to find me on Facebook or Instagram, and the links are going to be there for you as well. So there is that. And what else do I have here? Very important to note, this Friday, the 16th, Shakespeare's concert series is featuring yours truly. I'm going to be doing a Shakespeare's concert series concert. It is at 7 p.m. Tickets are on sale now over at Shakespeare Approves. Facebook, website, Instagram, you name it. That is where you can purchase your ticket. It is, I believe, $5 or something like that a ticket. But for those of you who subscribe to my Patreon, you get it for free. So make sure you note that you are a Patreon subscriber when you go to purchase your tickets. What else? I think there is. I've got one for you. Make sure you check out patreon.com/quill-and-quote for some very exciting handwritten and spoken by a married couple who are very lovely, and you may recognize them out of character. But these beautiful pieces, these very spooky pieces, very excellently written. I myself am a fan. And just listening to the audiobook, it's amazing. It is exactly what you want out of your audiobook. A little creepy, spoken by a voice that is very, very sexy, everything you could ever want. And also, if you like what you see over at Quill and Quote, you might want to give this a check. This is Dare. It is a collection of short fiction and poetry, very spooky, very creepy, written by someone named Melissa Lee. I wonder who that could be. But yes, I have my copy. I am currently reading and very much enjoying. If you would like to get your own copy, make sure you check it out on Amazon, as well as I believe I have an advertisement on my Facebook, or just go to Quill and Quotes. That's a good place to go as well. And I think that is all I have. Then I have some more commercials at the end. But now I believe that it is time to have everyone come back in, because we have, and I have it written down so I do not mess this up again, Lady Morgan's monthly morbid moment with her little kitty, because every episode of Wine Mixer should feature your puppies and your cats.
This is Lilith. She's my familiar, and she's very sweet. And she keeps my lap warm. She's a very, very warm cat. All right, so this is what we're calling it now. Monthly morbid moment. All right, all right.
That's official.
I like it.
I'm not going to change it now.
I'm good with it. So, all right.
It only took us 3 months to get it right.
It changes all the time. All right, so monthly. I'm writing it down. Monthly morbid moment.
It sounds good.
All right, and she's going to flap her tail in my face a couple of times, but that's all right. All right, so today, now I did a couple of little previews for people who are on the Patreon, either for Quill and Quotes, which is mine, or for Chase Treasure. I also posted a couple of things as well, some of my research. And the research today comes from something called the 50 Great Ghost Stories, which is edited by John Canning. This is also the oldest book I own, probably.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe not my family owns. We have books from the 1800s and whatnot, but this is my personal book, and I had to put duct tape on the back of it to keep it together.
Excellent choice of duct tape.
Yeah, I put this on, oh God, maybe 10 or 15 years ago. And I've just had this. This was one of the ones that followed me to college, that I took this book and took it to college, and then it started to fall apart, and I taped it back together a number of times. But there is a very particular story that we're going over today, and this is known as the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall.
Woo.
So this is a very, very famous ghost story. So we'll start with the beginning. So the person who is supposedly known as the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall is a woman named Dorothy Walpole. Now, Dorothy Walpole was a daughter of the Walpole family. They were known as isolating me. Haha, thank you. They were known as parliamentary in the 1700s. There was a lot of rich people in their background. They are part of the aristocracy of England. And eventually, Dorothy will marry the Viscount Charles Townshend. But there's a little bit more to it than I thought. So originally, Dorothy was very enamored of Charles Townshend. Charles Townshend had come to her family early on he was a ward of the state, sort of. I think his father had died and he was the next in line, but he had to be raised in the aristocracy society. So Dorothy's father took him in. And she fell madly in love with Charles. She really, really wanted to marry him. She was super into him. But her father, I think his name was Robert. Her father, Robert, decided she could not marry him because he thought it would look bad if his ward was married off to someone in his house. He wanted to allow him to find whatever matches suited his station. So he married someone else first, who eventually did pass away. And then later, Dorothy and Charles were reunited and they were married. But things didn't go as well as they thought. There is a thought that maybe Dorothy had an affair with someone named Lord Wharton at this time, because she had been jilted by her true love, who had married another woman. So she did not seem very happy in this marriage. And it's unclear to me, I think they might have had some children, but it's unclear to me whether or not they ever were happy once they actually moved into the house. So they go to Raynham Hall, which I think I included a picture as well. So this is a real place and it still exists, and you can tour it if you'd like. And this is my favorite detail. This is the dumbest detail I've ever heard. But they were trying to give a location in this book, and they said it's 4 miles southwest of Fakenham. I did not make that up. I've never heard of this name before. And I feel like it's something Catalina needs to get involved in, is faking ham. All my vegan friends out there, go find yourself some faking ham.
Go find it, and we will start a colony. Oh no, that sounds like a cult. Keep going.
So Dorothy is there for a couple of years. I didn't do enough research to see whether or not they had children. I think they did, because there's still a large number of Townsends still exist and still are living in the Raynham Hall. But eventually she dies. Now, it's not clear what the circumstances are initially. However, the facts are, after a point, Charles Townsend did not allow Dorothy to walk around the majority of the house. She was consigned to her own wing. Now, that was either because she had gone insane, or because he was jealous that she had been with this Lord Wharton at some point. But she was, for a time, I think several years, was confined to a specific area in the house and was not allowed to leave. And then at some point, she passed away. Now, there are different reports. One says that she died of smallpox, which was very common in the 1700s. One says that she fell down a flight of stairs and broke her neck. Now, it is unclear in that report whether or not she was pushed down the stairs or threw herself down the stairs or simply fell down the stairs. But in any event, she did pass away. And that's when we started to get the ghost sightings.
Let me ask a very quick question. What is the husband's last name again?
Townsend.
It's no Rochester.
No.
All right, just making sure, because I feel like I've heard this before.
The town was. Oh wait, no. What's B?
And I feel like
B or F. Bacon ham or faking ham?
Faken ham. Fakenham.
That's fun.
Fake right. Yeah, I saw that in the book and I was like, are you kidding me? This is a real word? All right, let's give it a that.
Continue.
You have heard of Townsend before because our very own Lady Catherine Townsend has resided at some point in the Raynham Hall. So that's
oh my goodness.
From. Yeah.
Wait, I'm bringing it up again. That's incredible.
So that's her family seat. I do not know whether she is before this Dorothy Walpole or she's after, but I do know that this is a part of her history. So one of the first people that meets the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall is King George IV. And in 1786, he was doing the kind of thing that English people do, where we like to tour around all of the rich people's houses. And we're like, we're just going to stay in someone's house. That's what Elizabeth did all the time. Queen Elizabeth would go on progress and stay at people's houses so she didn't have to pay for her own stuff. So
she says my day room is the best.
I believe it. Yes, so King George IV stayed at the house in 1786, and he reported that a strange woman in a brown dress came into his room and was just sort of staring at him from the foot of the bed, and he got so concerned he left. Very much tarnished the relationship he had with the Townsends. I think at that point they become counts, not just viscounts, but they will count. So then the next most famous sighting was a person named Captain Frederick Marryat. And by now, there have been several sightings of this brown lady, Dorothy Walpole. She was known to wear brown very frequently. She had a very floral, beautiful brown dress. And there were a number of portraits of her wearing a brown dress. Mm-hmm. And this had become relatively famous in the area. And this Captain Frederick Marryat decided that he was going to stay at the house. He was sort of what do you call it, a chevalier. He was like a romantic sort of famous figure. He had written some, I think he was a captain, yeah. So he had written some books about his adventures on the high seas and made himself really interesting and famous. And people at the time were reading these books and thinking he was really interesting. So he decides to stay at the house. And the story goes that sometime late in the evening on the third night, the first two nights he had not seen anything at all. But sometime late in the evening on the third night, his two cousins came over to his room, knocked on his door and said, we just bought a new weapon and we've been talking about it. And we wanted you to take a look at it to see what you think, because you're the authority on these kinds of things. Mm-hmm. So at some time past midnight, he goes over to his cousin's room and they look at their weapon. And he brought his own gun with him. And they start joking with one another about like, well, we have to protect ourselves from the brown lady. And then
They sound very American.
right? I mean, this is where we get it from. This is the origination of this bravado.
Oh.
All these British people. So at some point, very late in the night, he is leaving his cousin's room. And as he opens the door, now some accounts say that it was as he's walking down the hall, but some of them say it's as he's opening the door. He encounters someone walking down the hallway with a candle. They have like a candlestick that they're walking with. And it's very late at night, and he can recognize that this is a lady, and this is not the part of the house that the ladies are supposed to be in. So he assumes that they got lost or that they were wandering around the grounds when they shouldn't be. And he calls out to this person, and I think his cousins did too, and she did not respond. And as she got closer and closer, he realized that she was not a normal lady. Her eyes, I think, are described as being sort of sunken and black, and you can't really see her eyeballs themselves. And as she gets closer and closer, he draws his gun and he says, "Stop where you are." And she will not. So he fires point blank at her face. He later said, "Oh, I thought it was someone playing a trick on me." But why would you fire point blank at someone's face if it was a trick? So
that's hilarious.
Yeah. What is known factually is that he did fire his weapon, and the bullet was found further down, lodged into a doorway. But the lady vanished, and no one was there. No one reported missing, nothing. So yeah, she completely disappeared. Now the most famous sighting, and this is one of the other images I had included. This is the most famous sighting. There is a magazine at this time in the 1930s called Country Life magazine. Nobody's unclear whether or not the Townsends had requested that their house be photographed for Country Life magazine, or whether the people were doing this kind of on their own. But there are two people, Mr. Shearer and Mr. Provand, who are there to photograph the house. At the very end of their photography, they are on the grand staircase. This is the main staircase of the giant hall. They've taken lots of pictures of all of the different rooms in the house. And they're setting up the camera. It's one of those very old cameras where one of them has to be, I think it's Mr. Provand, has to be underneath a hood and exposing plates and all kinds of very complicated machinery. And Mr. Shearer is trying to set up the shot to make it look as ideal as possible. And the story goes that as Mr. Shearer is looking at the staircase, trying to find the best angles that he wants, that he sees this ghost descending the stairwell. And he says, "Whatever you're doing, just take the shot now." And Mr. Provand exposed the plate, and this is what we see. It is a picture of a woman descending a staircase. Now, theoretically, and this is something both of you I know have Catholic ties, there is a theory that goes around that this is the Virgin Mary double exposed over top of the staircase.
That's what it looks like to me. I was thinking that does look like your usual lawn Mary.
Mary's on a half shell. I have one just outside.
I have mine.
In the Vatican, there's plenty, but the ones on the half shell, those are the very holy ones.
You could say she's a hero on the half shell, but she's my hero. I love Mary. I want to know, was she, because they say, oh, she was always seen in brown. Maybe she just had a brown cat, because I don't wear a lot of brown, but I end up wearing a lot of
brown. Yes.
Which, by the way, I feel like everyone needs to see the kitten for just a moment.
Yes.
Would like to see. Oh, Maddie, everyone wants to see you.
Maddie. Oh,
so sweet. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I even looked it up to see if anyone had reported any more recent sightings. And if there have been more recent sightings, they have not been reported widely. So that pretty much concludes the majority of the sightings. But yes, that is Lady Dorothy Walpole of Townsend. She is the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall.
That's incredible. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Now I've looked into it too, and I don't know. I mean, yes, it could be a double exposed plate, but at the time when people were looking into it, and this includes like magicians, and I think Harry Houdini looked at the picture and everything, they couldn't figure out how they'd faked it. So either it's a real photograph or it is, I don't know, somebody just made a mistake. But either way, I think it's just a fascinating story.
No, I love that. Thank you for bringing that story today, because I have been, I don't know if everyone here knows, I have been asking for a ghost story. I said, if you have something, bring, and this was the perfect ghost story. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for that. And free reign for next time, but more ghost stories, I'm always, like always.
I did have another one that's also in this book called The Unnamed Horror of Number 50 Berkeley Square, and it is absolutely my favorite scary story.
So maybe for May or June, skip a month, do something murdery, come back. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. It was one of the stories that really got me into ghost stories when I was 7 or 8 years old, was being able to read that story.
That story was practically a murder story. I mean, he just sees this woman. He's like, oh, I don't like your eyes very much. Stop where you are. All right, I'm going to shoot you. And she's like, ha ha, I'm already dead. Like,
that's just bizarre.
That reminds me of in the Muppet Treasure Island where he's crying. He's like, Dead Bob is dead. And they're like, he was always dead. That's why his name is Dead Bob.
Oh, now for the Ren Fair community, Dead Bob is dead.
Oh, I mean,
oh no, it did not make an.
Yeah, I mean, you do. It is a reference, but that did happen, and
that was
a lovely show.
All right, because my husband knew Clark very well, and he was well loved within the community. But I honestly wondered, and I asked him this, and I said, "Is this a bad thing to ask?" And he said, "No, go ahead." I said, "Did they ever consider in his will that he could make his own skeleton into Dead Bob?" And he said, I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me that Clark might have written that in and then they couldn't get it by.
I mean, what a legacy. I wouldn't be against that. That would be incredible. Why not?
If I could, I would preserve my skeleton for
I mean, I feel like we need to, thank you. We need to salute. I'm so sorry. I did not mean that.
By all accounts, he was a reverent curmudgeon who dearly loved his life and his Renaissance fairs, and also would frequently forget the puppet that his whole show is named after. He would start the show and he'd have everything set up, and then I saw this happen in New York, and either it's everyone in the show forgets the dang puppet, or him specifically. He would be like, right, and he'd still have his microphone on, and you'd hear him kind of running through the trees up to his trailer. Puppet. And you're like, right, of course. Don't forget the dang puppet that the whole show is based on. No, of course not. And this has happened multiple times that he would just leave it in his trailer.
I mean, what a legacy, though. Like when you. All right, ladies, I have 2 more questions for you.
All right.
One question is very interesting. I didn't think of this ahead of time either. So, what would your autobiography be titled? Or several names, or maybe a word that would definitely be in there. Or
I always said that if I produced a comedy album, the first one was going to be called Battered Women and Cheese Fries. I don't think that'd be my autobiography, though.
Wow, that's a heck of a title, though.
Because like a fish and chips, like it would be
battered,
covered in batter. I see where you're going with this.
It's funny because it's terrible and not funny.
It is, yeah, but that's kind of you. That's on brand for you, though.
I feel like would be a morbid moment. What did we call it? Wait a minute.
Monthly morbid moment.
Moments with
which also kind of sounds like I'm just having my period. Like, really. All right.
We might have to change it after.
All I said was Morgan's Murder Corner. That's what I was thinking. But I don't know anything.
We may reevaluate. You may be right. Oh, that's so funny. I did not think of that.
My monthly morbid moment involves me bleeding for several days and not being able to deal with it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's the real thing.
Oh, no.
That's right. I'm trying to formulate a theory about PMS is just the emotional invoice we give them at the end of the month for all the things that we didn't call them out for the last 20 days.
I've been tracking things because I have like a fitness tracker that I wear all the time. And it is kind of shocking that now I can predict things where I'm like, why am I so upset at my husband? Oh, that makes sense now.
It is challenging though if you want to eat chocolate cake all the time. How do you know when the reason you want chocolate cake is because it is Morgan's monthly and not just a Tuesday?
It's an easy way to tell. If you want chocolate cake because chocolate cake is delicious, then it's just Tuesday. If you want chocolate cake because everyone's stupid and you're the only one that does anything, if he doesn't get off his fat focus right now and do the dang thing that you told him to do for the like twice a day for the last 28 days.
Then it's a morbid moment. Yes,
it might be a Morgan. Oh my goodness!
Are
we calling it that? So PMS is now a Morgan moment.
That is my monthly morbid moment. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having a Morgan moment. That is you'll be remembered forever. But that I don't know if that's the legacy you want.
Oh my God! I think my autobiography should be. Yes, I do want chocolate cake, and just leave it there. Like, yes, I do want chocolate cake. That's it. That's the whole book.
I feel like everything has to be like two meanings. Like the reason I wrote Dare is because I just love writing scary stories and romance stories and poetry and all that kind of thing. But the reason I called it Dare, there's a story in it called Dare. And then there's also it's over. I hate doing this stupid StreamYard. It's over there.
So I'm reaching off camera to point.
Yeah, like it's over.
Even though I'm not.
The reason why I called it Dare was also because I was daring myself to actually release it because I had already released it on my Patreon. That's the advantage of having Patreon is that you get to see all the stuff in advance. But I did put it together and then I was like, all right, I'm going to actually do this. I'm in the middle of a pandemic. Let me just actually release a book and see what happens. And yeah, that's why I called it that because it felt like I was challenging myself to be able to do something. I think if I had a book, it would probably be Fearless because that's the word on my back.
Oh, yes. That would be that is a perfect autobiography title, though. It really
feels, the reason why I got it on my back, I mean, A, because I don't like looking at tattoos while they're happening. It's not fun. And B, because I wanted other people to see it. Like, I wanted people to remind me, like, oh, you have a tattoo. And this happened several times. Oh, you have a tattoo on your back called Fearless. Does that mean that you are? And I said, well, I am today.
I like that.
No, I'm not. That's why I got the tattoo. It'll be there forever. Right. That's why I made sure to have it in the language that I speak, because
well, and it's bold type. Like I was like, make sure that everyone can read this because that was still at the time. I was only 21 when I got it. That was still at the time when everybody was doing the tribal tattoos around their arms, and they were writing things in languages they didn't actually speak but might have been related to. Like, ooh, I'm gonna get a tattoo in Russian because my parents are Russian. All right, but you can't read it, so
your tattoo says soup, like
right? Or the Chinese characters. Everybody got Chinese and Japanese characters, and you'd later find out that it was like laundry day. It was written on your shoulder. You're like,
this is the perfect segue because my final question for you today is...
Oh, wait, my autobiography will be called Yes, I'll Eat Your Pickle. If you don't want it. I'll have your pickle if you don't want it. That's my autobiography.
Yes.
Taken from your chocolate cake idea.
I'm so sorry. I did not realize you did not answer, but...
I didn't have an answer until then.
No, I love that. Perfect. And that is exactly. I would not anticipate you having a different one. That is perfect. What's my good lady Duchess? What is your best date ever? Why did it involve Chinese takeout? Because I have a theory. It's been disproven 1 out of I think 19 at this point.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Times. So we are.
Well, if I had all right. I mean, the best date ever. The first 10 minutes of it, I thought I was going to be murdered. And it did not involve Chinese takeout.
All right.
It was a picnic. It was a picnic in the back of a Prius. Because they open up and there's space for it.
Yes.
And there was, wine and cheese and bread and grapes, and it was just very, very delightful. It's just that we hadn't dated for very long, so we were in a secluded part, and he's like, all right, sit here, close your eyes, and then he's rummaging in the back for a while. And I'm like, this is how I die. I'm going to die. This is, oh, what should I think about? What should be my last thoughts on Earth?
Still involves food, though.
And that's
I
became
could try running, but he's just going to catch up to me because what is he going to run out of gas? It's a Prius.
and that is your best date ever. Was what should my last thoughts be?
The rest of the night was delightful. It was just the thought that was put in to the preparation of my murder, and it was delightful. And he was a lovely chap. It didn't work out for us, but he was a lovely chap, and I wish him well. And but as far as Chinese take, I mean that has been my dates for the past year plus, because we keep thinking like, oh, let's have a romantic dinner. Is our romantic dinners Chinese takeout? Last night was subs. And the romantic part was we got insomnia cookies afterwards. Like
insomnia cookies are amazing.
Yeah, good. So that's
I that was an answer I was not anticipating. So I'm gonna give you a half point because it did involve food.
And it was out. He's right. That
and murder.
But not so. I have 1.5 versus 19.5, I think. I have to do the official count, but I think it's close to that.
Yeah.
Well, that was the other thing. It was just like, was I actually afraid for my life? Not really. I mean, he had a Prius.
I mean, that's a red flag sometimes, depending on the person.
It's the van.
I don't think boys in Priuses. That's the core of the Prius.
I had a fabulous date, and I also, I mean, I didn't think I was going to get murdered, but I had a fabulous date in the back of a van, and he didn't work out for me either. And I should have realized it was the freaking van that was probably.
It's the combination of personality and carriage.
And a van, yeah, it is. Like if you have a very expensive carriage, if you have a really fancy and like, oh, I'm going to drive like, I have like a Mustang from like right now. Then, all right, maybe you like cars more than you like women. I don't know if I'm really into this.
If it's that case and they're wearing Crocs on their feet, then I'm like,
that's immediate. It's immediate. Okay, this is like 2003 or 4.
All right.
So like the Prius was like still like this like new exciting concept.
All right.
Like,
all right.
Where did you get this? Where did you? This was in Mississippi, so like it was like even like he was from Louisiana.
Yes.
So like it was like, wow, you drive this around and people let you live. Like no one's shot you for driving this yet. That's amazing.
Bravery.
Obviously, it wasn't an official date, but one of my favorite friend dates, and I think the friend dates are also very, very valid.
Sure, absolutely.
We went to a drive-in movie, and it was my friend Kate, and she drove me, and we went to a drive-in movie, and she had like decked out the back of her ancient pickup truck with like a mattress and like blankets and all kinds of stuff. And it was just really nice that we just got to like, she backed up and we watched 2 movies together. And I was like, this is the best. We should always do this.
Usually when I back up on a date, we don't end up watching the movie, but I appreciate that is.
I was less gay then. I probably would have made a movie if I knew. If I knew what I knew, I mean, I was like 16. I didn't know yet.
I think your autobiography should be, I was less gay then.
You was less gay then. No,
Anyway.
Fingers still crossed for my second shot. Come on.
Ladies, I could keep this nonsense going for another hour. Hour mark. I'm so sorry. We started before we even hit live. For those of you who missed this the first time, we were talking about gag reflexes. So I mean, so I know, my dear beautiful Duchess, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you have a few things you want to say before I get to the wrap up part. So where are you? Yes, this way.
Yes, I'm right here. Darling, thank you so much for having me. I have just had a ball. This hour has like just flown by. Right quick. I will be at the Burns dinner, the Burns supper this Saturday in Columbus, East Hampton, New Jersey. I haven't been promoting it because I thought the tickets were sold out. They're not sold out. So if you would like to go to the Burns dinner, usually they're in January. They celebrate the life of Bobby Burns. There's haggis, there's whiskey, there's scotch, there's me. I will be doing the toast to the lads. A dear friend of mine is doing the Toast to the Lasses. And so if you would like to come out for that, I don't have the website, just Google South Jersey Celtic Society. And it's their Burns dinner this Saturday. Tomorrow being Monday, you can join me at the happy hour with the Duchess. If you have liked the New Jersey Ren Fair Facebook page, that is where you can see the happy hour with the Duchess. 8 p.m. on 8 p.m. on Mondays. Post your questions, watch it. We have all the lovely up-to-date information about the New Jersey Renaissance Fair, which is at the end of May, beginning of June. Do come out, buy your tickets in advance. It's delightful. Follow me on Twitter. I just joined. I don't have any friends. I don't know how Twitter works. So just follow me, and it probably won't take up any more of your time because I don't post much. And I will be on the IT group this Wednesday.
Yay! That is so exciting.
I love the IT group.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. You're coming back on the show. I hope you know this.
I would love to.
Don't have a choice. Especially coming up upon the New Jersey Renaissance Festival. I'm going to see if I can try. If you're not too busy, I know you're preparing lots of things there in Northumberland, but you know, we'll make it happen.
I have people for that, darling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe we can even get your wonderful husband on as well.
Ooh, he would do it. I think he would.
I'll ask.
I mean,
it's always Sundays. I don't think he works Sundays. Also, when you were showing another picture for the Chase Treasure Show, I must commend you on your pearl game. I enjoy a good set of pearls. I enjoy some pearls, and your pearl game, it rivals Mummy's.
Well, thank you. You know, I only ever get strings of pearl necklaces from my fans.
Hi.
So a very nice fan ensured that I had a pearl necklace for today.
That was Curtis, who I think
it was.
Because I got one too. Actually,
you did.
It was insane.
So I mean, my good lady Duchess, you always have beautiful jewelry on, but thank you. That means a lot coming from you.
It's gorgeous, gorgeous.
And Lady Morgan, you are always welcome on the show, not just Morbid's Morgan PMS Day. In the corner where we're Morbids, I don't know. But thank you so much for joining me. Absolutely, the first Sunday of May. If you are around, I would love to have you back for another. If not, Sunday, we'll make it work. As long as it happens once a month, you can be late as long as you show up.
Testify, my Contessa.
I would like to know, just very briefly,
yes.
We're asking if you go to Melissa at njrenfaire.com, if you're ever asking any questions, that's me. I'm the acting general manager for this year, so I'm the one that's in charge of everything. So if you have any questions about the New Jersey Renaissance Fair, like if you can bring your dogs, if you can bring your children, how many of you have to wear a mask, social distancing, all of the other things, we have lots and lots of rules in place, and I'm more than happy to explain them to you. You may feel free to email me. My address is all over the website. So Melissa at njrenfaire.com. You may feel free to get in contact with me there. I'm more than happy to answer your questions.
Excellent. And thank you so much for all the hard work you do. I'm so excited about this festival. For those of you who already do not do this, please check me out on Patreon, patreon.com/Christina Koya. I hear she's great. And that is how we can afford to do this every week. So thank you so much. If you aren't already, please follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Soft Autumn Ingenue. I do a lot of nonsense on those. And a super special thank you to all of my Patreon subscribers, but especially my extra spicy sponsors, Wookie Gunner, Robert L, Kyle F, Bill I, and Brian G. And a special thanks to my top sponsors, Marco, Dan K, and Jim T. You are the absolute best. And I hopefully will not see you on, if I don't see you on Thursday for Musical Thursday, perhaps I will see you next Sunday when we have Lady Agnes and Sultana Laila on for we are reuniting Flarf, everyone. We are going to be an adventure. And if you are not going to see me in person until then, I will hopefully see you at the New Jersey Renaissance Festival. Yay! Goodbye, everyone. Stay safe, stay spicy. I'll see you soon. And here's the